Don't mind me. I just don't like the is this gonna work face that everybody's like show and podcast has. Hello and welcome to another episode of In Bed with Comics. I'm your host and fellow stand-up comedian, Kristen Tinsley. I hope you all are snugged very tight up in your bed because I got a story to tell you. Once upon a time, there was a comic, and she was a girl, a very funny lady. Most of her material is based on her life experiences and daily happenings. Cara has opened for Gilbert Gottfried and performed at venues across the country like the Sands Casino Resort in Atlantic City, Catch a Rising Star, and cut her teeth on the New York comedy scene at such venues as Governor's Comedy Club, The Brokerage, and Gotham Comedy Club. She's also into acting and is part of the Improbable Players troupe. And that's dedicated to educating middle school age children about alcohol and drug addiction. That's a very good thing. She was a semi-finalist in the Food Network's Next Food Star. Damn, girl, you can cook too. Damn. And winner of the Ladies of Laughter in New York. Please, everyone, give a very warm welcome to my friend and fellow female comedian, Cara Amore. What's up, girl?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you handling this whole quarantine thing? This thing that we have to live through.
This crazy thing. You know, it's so funny because every time you like ask somebody that, how are you handling this thing called the pandemic?
Right, like this thing, this virus thing. I think I can share it with you. Hold on, let me see if I can share it with you. Doesn't. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna write a post. I'm gonna tag you in it so you can share it with your friends. Ugh. Right. I shared it on my page.
Okay.
So now your friends can watch too. Did you get it?
I'm going to look. Yep.
You got it? Cool.
Got it.
Yeah, the virus has now been reduced to being called a thing that is inconveniencing everybody's life, especially today when most people will be out, hanging out, socializing, and celebrating Cinco de Mayo. So this is what we're doing in the house, celebrating Cinco de Mayo. What else would we be doing if we weren't at home? Sipping coconut flavored water. That's what we're doing.
I think we would be doing stand-up comedy if we weren't in bed with comics.
Yeah, we would be at Coasters right now doing an open mic because it's where else would we be on a Tuesday night?
That's right.
Drinking and having a good time with our friends and comedy. So that's awesome.
That's right. Yeah.
Let me ask you, you've been doing stand-up comedy for how long now?
So, well, I started in 2003, but I took a break. So it's like it has two lives, kind of like people who have two families, like they get pregnant, have kids, stop, and then get pregnant again.
You divorced comedy, and then you came back. Who was the abuser in that relationship? Was it comedy or was it you?
No, it wasn't either one of us, actually. I'm a mom, so I didn't get started in comedy until I was like 35 years old. I had a midlife crisis and said, oh, stand-up comedy or a lover. So I'll take stand-up comedy.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And then my son was little. He was only 2 when I started doing stand-up comedy. And I was about 3 or 4 years in, maybe 4 years in. And he really needed me. He was like in 2nd grade, and he had some, I don't want to use the word issues because that's like so overused. My kid had issues. Whose kid didn't have issues? Look who his mother is.
Yeah.
And so he needed me, because I was hitting the road, like you saw, I was in Atlantic City. I was starting to do some good stuff.
Right.
And I needed to make a decision. So I made a decision to ease up.
Do you feel like, okay, so on a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you love stand-up comedy?
10.
10. Okay, that's a good answer. Everybody gives that answer.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard from other female comics that have had children that they have had to take a break. Do you, from comedy, because they need to raise their children and supporting a family? Do you feel like it's kind of a little bit easier now for women to participate in comedy with all the modern technology that we have and stuff like that? Like, could you see yourself, having an easier time now than you did then if you had a child that age now?
Uh, Interesting. I think if it was, even if I was starting now as opposed to then, my choice would have still been the same. I would not go on the road, because I think it would have definitely been detrimental to my child. For me,
Okay.
for
Yeah.
me, yeah.
Yeah, I feel
So
like that's a hard decision that that any parent has to make, especially if you're a single parent. That's a hard decision that you have to make. It's either, being a parent, and sometimes you can do both if you're lucky enough you can. But kudos to you for doing it and coming back. I mean, some people just kind of like, I throw in the towel, I'm done. I'm not going to come back. It's over. That ship has sailed. I mean,
right.
you jumped in the river at 35 years old. I jumped in at, I don't want to talk about how old I am, but I jumped in my late 30s, and, I didn't even bat an eye. I mean, I knew I was surrounded by a bunch of 20, 21-year-olds at least. Some of them were like 19, and 20, 25-year-olds. But, I think that there's all ages. And I mean, there's even people that are much older than both me and you, that are still out there and they're doing it. I kind of feel like comedy is kind of for anybody. Anybody who wants to be out there and put their jokes out there. So that brings me to my next question. What is the one set of jokes that you do that everyone loves?
Huh. I would say the one set of jokes that I do, a lot of stuff about my Italian family. I think they love, my grandma jokes. People love my grandma jokes, my Italian grandma jokes. My fat girl jokes. I know I don't look chubby, but yeah, I used to be, I used to be much heavier. So when I talk about being heavy, people love that.
So I guess you're going to be on the Queens of Quarantine comedy show and then the fat version show a couple weekends later because you got
Yes.
the fat joke. Okay, good. So now
Yeah.
you're already committed to 2 shows.
There you go. That's great. Yeah.
Lovely, because I've got the itch. I like that a lot. Tell me, Gilbert Gottfried is definitely one of my favorite actors. I have never seen him do stand up. I would love to. I know that he's been to Governors a couple of times. I loved him in Problem Child as the principal. When he stood up, he was like, "You rotten kids, you should be locked in cages." Every time the kids give me a hard time on the bus, that's what I hear in my head. Or I hear Chris Farley say, "I'll turn this fucking bus around and then you crash your future." That's what I get in my head every time the kids act up. It makes me laugh, and I just calm right down. But what was it like to open up? I mean, that must have been, how many people were even in the room that night? That must have been epic. Like, I can't even imagine.
So it was at Governor's. I opened up for him at Governor's, and the room was completely sold out. It was epic. It was amazing. It was I have to say, his audience, so when people come specifically for a specific comic, you're taking a huge risk. Because a lot of times they don't care about you. They don't want to hear from you. They could care less that you're there. They're kind of pissed that you're there because they want their headliner.
Of course.
And I have to say, it was an amazing show. They were so kind, so warm, so loving. But they picked the right opener for him because I'm a dirty comik.
You are.
So yeah, I'm a dirty, filthy animal.
I heard you. So you may look like a very sweet, Long Island cookie baking mother, but you are a dirty girl.
I do, because people, like, I do a lot of comedy, because I'm in recovery. I do comedy in the rehabs, and they all look at me and they're like, "Oh, what are you recovering from?" I know they all think I'm a wine drinking, minivan driving mom. No, crackhead. So they're all like freaked out. They're like,
crack. Do you open with that?
Huh?
You open with that? Yeah,
pretty much.
So crack. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, they're like, because I'm like, I'm like, what's your drug of choice? And I'm like, what do you think mine was? And they're always like, wine. I'm like, no, crack. I was a crackhead.
Yeah, crack. That's so funny.
So
I go
it
to
would,
AA meetings sometimes to like support like a couple of friends. Like I'll go and just
yep,
kind of like, you know, we just, kind of go there and I listen and I hang out and,
sure.
people will, look at me funny because I'm not an alcoholic or I don't have that. But when people ask me, oh, what's your drug of choice? And I'm like, cupcakes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. So I definitely get you on the addiction thing. And to do
Yep.
what? All right. So, that I've had weight loss surgery. I'm still
Yep.
transitioning into whatever is going to be at the end of this rainbow. How does it feel to still continue to do fat jokes even though you're not fat? Do people like consistently like come up to you and be like, but you're not fat though? Like, I don't, do you real like tell me what it's like?
So it's interesting when because I'm that girl who can take to put on and take off 50 pounds
Yeah.
at any given moment. You know what I mean? So some of my jokes talk about that,
Okay.
about how I'm that yo-yo or that accordion, the squeeze
Right.
box. So people don't, so because I address that, they don't give me a hard time. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have to hear like my fat jokes to realize like, oh, they're going to realize they're not going to give her a hard time because of that.
Right.
I always identify with my fat girl. She's
Of
in here
course.
at all
Yeah. I can't.
times.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get rid of that. Like it's
No.
always gonna be there.
Yep.
It's never gonna change. I'm still gonna throw fat jokes out there. I'm not gonna sit there and get up there and be like, oh yeah, I used to weigh 525 pounds because then right then and there people, look at you, judge you. They're like, yeah, but you're still fat. Like, so it really doesn't, I mean, I don't care what people
Right.
think or I could care less, you know.
I don't care either.
No,
I don't,
I don't care.
but here's the thing. I am such, I feel, and I guess people judge me almost from the second I hit the stage because of what I look like. And it takes them, I feel, a very short period of time to like me because I think the outside is not the inside.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it does because Teresa introduced you to me before you met me because Teresa knows better. Teresa knows that I am not the type of person that instantly likes someone. I will measure you up. I will give you the nasty bitch face and we'll see. But so Teresa knows,
Yes.
tell me I'm that friend that you have to tell, be nice. You meet someone first. Because right away, yeah, I mean, that's the fat girl. Like,
Yep.
whoa, like, okay. So when I first met you, I mean, I didn't judge you at all. I knew right away who you were. She didn't even have to say it. I mean, I think you were sitting there with someone else. I knew right away who you were. And I was just like, okay, this is a cool person. And then it
Thank
just
you.
manifested from there. So, I never judged you based on that. And shame on anyone else that does, because that's awful.
Yeah, it's a tough, it can be tough. Well, and you know how, other, especially when you're in rehabs, sometimes the women have been so abused by other women,
Yeah.
they don't want to like you.
Yeah.
So
I
I
know.
I want them to, I want to love them all over them,
Right. So you have to have that loving type of energy about you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. I'm sorry, someone's texting me and being annoying. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's it. Um, do you have a favorite comedy movie that makes you laugh and smile?
My favorite comedy movie. Well,
Yeah. Like what
I mean,
inspired you to be a comedian?
well, what inspired me to be a comedian um, is an interesting story. I so I used to have my own business. I don't know if I used to do promotional products, hats, pens, t-shirts, anything a company would put their logo on.
Yeah.
And a man who was my mentor, he was like a dad to me in that business, got very sick, and I loved him very, very much. And
Right.
I really thought he was going to beat it. And he passed away. At his funeral, everybody talked about how he had no regrets. I felt like I should have no regrets in my life, and I really felt like I would regret not doing stand-up comedy. So that's why I decided to do stand-up comedy.
could totally relate. When I lost my sister-in-law, I said, you know what? I mean, I kind of had already started stand up at that point, but that was really like the driving force that was like, wow, okay, like, I'm gonna definitely keep going with that. So, you know,
I do know. So yeah, that's why I did it. That
that's
was
one
it.
thing that definitely wakes people up is when, you're kind of looking at, especially now, I hope that a lot of people are sitting home and they're thinking about the things that they're doing in their life and what they're not doing, so maybe they could move on to, maybe take a step, because a lot of people come up to me and say, well, how do I get involved with stand-up comedy? How do I do this? Now's the time to, scrub up on all those Netflix documentaries and stuff like that and really kind of, maybe take that step forward when things start to open up again to live your dreams. So do you have a
Exactly.
favorite comedy movie that like makes you laugh?
So Animal House is my favorite movie. Always has been, always will be. And I think it's because it was the only movie my girlfriend, Julie Kirschenbaum, who was like my favorite girlfriend in middle school, she was the first person who ever had a VCR.
Oh,
And she
wow.
had
Okay.
it, and she owned Animal House, and we used to smoke pot, eat Charlie's chips, and watch Animal House.
And how old were you?
I was like 14.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie and Porky's was like off limits to us. Like anybody that had Porky's was like, oh my God, because it was like, I don't know. But I mean, Animal House is definitely a classic movie.
Oh,
Animal House, that Animal House is my generation's Revenge of the Nerds.
uh-huh.
A lot of people don't
That's
pick
so
that
funny.
movie, Revenge of the Nerds, but I love that movie. I never
Yeah.
admit that I love that movie, but I absolutely love that movie. I think it's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And then it just keeps going off from there, from like Van Wilder and Road Trip and all those types of like hokey college type of funny ass, frat party type of, stuff where it's just total crude humor. I love all that. So I could definitely appreciate that. That's definitely funny.
I
Definitely.
love John Belushi. I mean, the scenes that John Belushi did, you have to understand too, I was a raging drug addict and alcoholic, even that young. And when he does that scene in Animal House, when he's like, they took the bar, they took
Yeah.
the whole fucking bar. I was like, I'm going to college. I'm going to be living in a frat house with people who have a bar like that. Like that was my that was my goal in life. Like
You're like Jack Black in Tropic Thunder with the fucking.
oh my God, I love Jack Black.
Me too. I don't care what anyone says. I think he's one of the funniest people, especially in Jumanji. That was really funny. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I mean, Jack Black, every movie that he's ever been in, especially my favorite movie that Jack Black did was Saving Silverman. Have you ever
I
seen
need
it?
to, no.
Oh, you have to watch it. Even if you have to rent it, Saving Silverman is a freaking classic movie. I love that movie to the end of time. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my entire life. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. It is very, very funny. It's
Okay,
like
I'm gonna
it's a
get it.
love story, but it's a love story between friends, and you know, it's just it's kind of sort of a love story, but it's a guy's movie, but you know, it kind of mixes it up a little bit, but I just love it. It's really, really funny. I think it's the best.
Excellent.
Yeah. So if you were to have a movie made about your life, who would play you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, if it was years ago, it would have been Terry Garr, because people always tell me I look like Terry Garr, but she's old now. So who looks like me now?
Because they
I
don't have
don't.
to look like you. Like, who do you think would actually be able to pull off your life?
Oh,
Do
I
that.
mean, because my life is not. My life is more drama than it is comedy. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah, my
But
life
from
is
drama
definitely.
comes comedy. So
Yeah, definitely a lot more. Um, that's a hard one. Oof.
that is a
Reese
hard one.
Reese Witherspoon, maybe Scarlett Johansson, those kind of girls. I like Reese because she's just so real, you know?
I like Reese Witherspoon. I haven't seen her. I like old school Reese Witherspoon, especially like
Yeah.
Legally Blonde. I love that
Oh,
research.
I loved her. Actually, that's a great way to, because she could play like a range, you
Yes, it
know?
doesn't have to be just, I don't think I've ever really seen her in like a very serious role, but I think that even if you could take even life's most serious situations and you could make it funny, especially if you know that the end result is being a comic, you could definitely make it funny. But I
Exactly.
could definitely see that,
Yeah.
somebody like her playing you. What would be like the highlight of that movie that people would be like, oh my God. Like if you had to pick a scene from a trailer to show an audience of your life to entice them to come in to buy a ticket, what would it be? I know I'm crazy. It's fine.
No, I bet you, I think the thing that would entice them the most would probably be the time, the transition of my life going from, like businesswoman to, stand-up comic and transitioning into being a private investigator.
Oh yeah. See, that was the
Yeah,
most intriguing thing about you. When
yeah,
I met you, I was like, she's a private investigator. I'm like, she probably already knows all about me. Just fucking sit down and smile and be nice. There's nothing to know. Like I'm just, whatever.
yeah,
But I mean, that's definitely an interesting job to have, especially when you're a comic,
right.
because I'm sure you see some crazy shit, or at least read some crazy shit that goes on out there in this world.
Yeah.
So that makes it even more funny. But yeah, I could definitely see that. So what is it like? You performed in casinos. Most comics don't really know what that's like. Most of us have performed at the brokerage, governors, places like that. What's it like to actually hit the road and go into casinos and do that hustle? Like, what is that like?
It's lonely.
Lonely?
It's lonely. So, I did 10 days on the road in Atlantic City. I started at Catch in Princeton. I did 3 days there. And then I went for 7 days or 8 days to the Sands in Atlantic City. And
I would have been partying. What are you talking about lonely? I would have been drunk every night. Like, I mean,
well, I mean, every night was fun, but there's nothing to
yeah.
do all day. You have to remember, you know what I mean? You're in a room. I mean, I ended up,
Do
you
they
have to
pay for the
remember,
room?
it's just you. No, they put me up in a suite. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, I had a wonderful, like that, in that sense, but you have
I
to
don't
remember,
crap. What are you talking about?
you have to remember though, it's during the week. Everybody else has jobs. It's not like everybody can
That's
come and
true.
see
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
You
That's true.
understand? Like, my family was here. I mean, they came on the weekends, but you're there during the week, and it was close enough that they could drive in during the weekend, which was wonderful.
Right.
And I did have a couple of friends who did drive in, during the week, but you're there. And I did become really, really friendly with my headliner, who was Mo Alexander, who to this day I'm still really good friends with, who I adored, but it's work. It ends up
How do
being
you get
work.
a gig like that? How do you do that? Teresa Farrell said, "Love you too, T." Teresa said Meryl Streep.
Oh, Meryl Streep. Oh my God.
I
Thank
would
you.
love to see Meryl Streep do that.
Yeah. Wow. Meryl Streep. That would be a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Um,
How do you get a gig like that? How do you? Because I think that it's always been a dream of mine. Because listen, I'll pack my shit and I'm out of here. I'll go anywhere. I don't have kids. I'm not married. I don't have nothing. I just have whatever. I would love to do cruise ships. I'd love to go to resorts, all those places. How do you get gigs like that?
well, again, you know, I mean, I started to get representation, I mean, at the end of the day, I was starting to move in the right direction with comedy.
Yeah.
I started to have somebody who was going to was starting to represent me, was
Oh,
starting to
you mean
get
like a
me.
manager?
I mean, he wasn't actually managing me. I mean, we didn't sign on the dotted line, but he was starting to get me gigs. You know what I mean? And um, so that's how that started. Like,
Do you feel like those opportunities are still available to people now? Or is the manager
sure.
more of like a middleman? Because I
No, I
kind of
think
you can
those
cut that.
opportunities are still available. Absolutely. I think you start doing the showcases again. And you know who gave me great advice one time?
Yeah.
Carol Montgomery gave me great advice. Carol Montgomery, because a lot of people would telling me, you have to change your act. You have to be different than who you are. You have to stop being dirty. And I met Carol Montgomery early on, and she said she just came back from Las Vegas because she had a long show in Las
Mhm.
Vegas. And she said to me, don't listen to them. Don't sell yourself. Don't sell yourself short, and don't listen to them, and don't not be who you want to be. Let your voice be your voice. And if they don't like it, you'll find the person or the people who want to hire you for who you are.
I get you. I don't like it when people say, don't be this way or don't be that way. I mean, I
Right.
get it. With certain things, you kind of have to bow down and you have to get your foot in the door. I get it. But I feel like that takes away the authenticity of what you're saying. I
Exactly.
know that sometimes, I mean, I post dirty stuff on Facebook all the time. I don't know if people realize that I'm kidding or not. I'm a freaking comic, of course. 9 times out of 10, most of the stuff that comes out of my mouth, don't take it seriously. But I kind of feel like when women are dirty, it does something to the predominantly male audience or the predominantly male managed comedy industry, and it makes them feel uncomfortable because they get turned on. That's what I feel like. So we're told to calm it down because they don't want to have a hard on throughout the entire show. And it's like, yeah, but I'm still going to talk about my vagina and I'm still going to talk about my breast. Deal with it. And I get it. Like sometimes you have to be clean, but that's when it's good to have a variety of an act because you kind of have to have your clean set ready when you need to be clean and your dirty set ready when you can do whatever you need to do. So I kind of feel like there's a little bit of a juggle there because I
Yeah.
have seen people get discriminated against for being too dirty or just too like I don't know. But there's definitely room out there for raunchy comics. It's just that it's not something that you would see like on Netflix or something like that. Like you're not gonna see that. So
No. No, hey, listen, at the end of the day, I was saying to myself, yeah, do I want to be on TV? Do I think that there's a market for me on TV? If I want to do my comedy, I'm going to have to start to, write my character for TV, but
yeah,
I'm
it's
also
a game.
a 52-year-old woman, you know? Okay, we'll see. I mean, but then again, Joan Rivers was much older, so we'll see what the world becomes.
Right. I mean, I definitely feel like there's an opening for it. I tend to just watch and see, not just watch and see what other people are saying, but just kind of watch and see how they're saying it because, I do think there is like definitely some sort of like a discrimination against like some of the things that you say, like how racist you may come off or how dirty you may come off, depending on whatever. You just don't know what it's going to be. That's why it's always good to have like other acts. So during your time, have you ever witnessed any like complete and total nightmares on stage where you've seen somebody bomb on stage as like 100% complete, like, okay, this is not going well?
On a real show?
Yeah.
No, no, I mean, not
Ever?
not not real, not on a real show. Oh well, I mean, that's not true. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Don't
I
be
mean,
shy about it. Who cares?
yeah, I mean, I've seen them be like not that cup of tea. That the cup of
Yeah.
I mean, I recently saw it. Teresa and I actually went to a show together recently, and we were in the audience, and one of the comics was definitely not the audience's cup of tea.
Hmm.
I think maybe in the right venue, his stuff would have been better. And I think because they weren't really digging him, he was digging himself a, a deeper hole, if that
Right.
makes sense. Like he couldn't move his stuff into something different. So I have seen, yeah, I did see that. But
Yeah.
hey, listen, I've seen myself completely bomb. So
Yeah. That was my
it
next question.
happens.
Have you ever like completely and totally bombed like on
Yeah,
stage? Like, oh my God, I'm done.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you also do the Italian chicks.
I do.
Right, you travel around with them. Teresa's a part of that. Marianne is a part of that. And then what's the other girl's name?
Jula and
Jula.
Gianna.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool. And how is that? So it's like a traveling troupe of Italian women traveling around. talking about Italian things. What? But I think it's more than that. What is it? Because I have.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's stand up. It's also a variety show. There's music. It runs the gamut, and makes you
Right.
have like a feeling of being part of that Italian family,
Okay, I like
if
that.
you don't really need to be Italian in order to enjoy it though. I mean, it can be kitschy, fun, you know?
Yeah.
So,
My
it is a
stepdad
lot
was
of fun.
Italian, so I totally get it.
Yeah, it
I
is
always
fun.
laugh at stuff like that when people are like, oh, you know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like my stepdad was Italian. Like, I get
Yeah.
it. I totally get it. So that's definitely a lot of fun. I like that because I like variety. I like mixing different types of talent in shows. I think that's really cool. I really like that. I really like that you're a part of something like that, especially with Teresa. You know.
Thanks.
So we're coming down to the ends of the show, which is the final question, million
Uh-oh.
dollar question. And I expect an answer. It could be male or female. We don't discriminate on In Bed with Comics. Any comic, famous or non-famous, that you would take to bed. Who would it be?
Famous or non-famous that I would take to bed. I think I wrote this once on Facebook. I would take as a threesome me, Bill Burr, and Jessica Kirson.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine. You picked two people.
I did.
Interesting. You win because no one else on the show has ever picked. No one has ever been that bold, probably besides me. I would take two people to bed. That's awesome. Bill Burr. Why Bill Burr? I think he's hilarious, by the way.
I think he's hilarious. I think he's angry. I think I could calm down the anger almost immediately.
Yeah, I'm sure he would be like a slab of pudding on your bed.
I
Just
think
like
he'd
this
be a
redheaded
pudding.
slab of pudding. I like Bill Burr a lot.
Yeah. I think he would. I think he'd probably laugh hysterically at the thought of me wanting to take him to bed with Jess.
Yeah. Jessica Kirshon. Yeah. Definitely, I can see that.
Yeah.
Adrian saying hello, wives. Hello, Adrian Davis. How are you? Yeah, it sucks. I'm so excited to have you on the Real Comedy Wives of Long Island. I was so happy. But we're gonna have to figure something else out, which we've discussed in length as to what we're gonna do with that show going forward.
Hey,
So
listen, everything moving forward is going to be a work in progress. And I think everything we decide to do moving forward is going to work out, no matter how it's supposed to. I think it's, better than anybody that it's in the stars.
I know it is. And I feel like it was a blessing in disguise because I feel like the Real Comedy Wives of Long Island needs something bigger. I did because I really that was like a dream show of mine to do, and I wanted it done a certain way. So I think now that I have kind of time to take a step back and look and evaluate everything that's going to go on and where it's going to be and how I'm going to set it up. I just like to this time I've just been spending how am I going to do these bigger type of shows. Queens of Quarantine comedy show. I'm going to see how that's going to go, but it's just for fun, I figure get people to come do their jokes. I know you're going to do it. Teresa's going to do it too. Adrian's going to do it. Roseanne's going to do it. We're going to have a couple of the wives on that show.
So Chris Cuff and I did a show recently, and so we'll give you some ideas about how
she told me that there was 600 and some odd 600 people there, and I was like, wow, oh my God, no. But you don't know that there's 600 people there. Looking out at 600 people on a stage is very different from looking at, when you're just sitting in your room and you're talking like this when you're doing your set. I think that that's something that people need to get used to doing that, and then I feel like the comics will be much more comfortable performing. I already told Chris. Chris is like, oh yeah, I'll be on the show if I need you, and I'm like, no, you're gonna be on the show.
I'd never seen her perform. She was just hysterical. I loved her.
We actually she used to be my partner with comedy shows, but then when she started getting into her her job more, she needs to kind of like walk away from it. So, you know, she comes back here and there. You know, I can always kind of pull her into it, but she does so much with everything that she does.
Oh
So,
my God. When she
you
told
know,
me what she does, I was like, hello, you make me look like I do nothing.
right. She does a lot. She's always a very busy girl. But the thing about Chris Cuff is she's always there when you need her.
Mhm.
If I were to call her in the middle of the night and say, Chris, I need you, she would be there. She's always been there, always. And she's always like sent me love. That's why we just became like instant friends. She's not just a friend, she's my sister, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always been like an instant bond between us. Same thing with Teresa, same thing with Bonnie, same thing with a lot of people that I have met in the comedy world, because I feel like you meet some very sweet women here. You know, I've met a lot of women that have, you know, really put a lot of effort into their lives, no matter whether we're friends or not. You know, it's just I see it all because you hear it. Because without, you know, when somebody gets up on stage and had a microphone in their mouth, they're letting loose all of the stuff that they go through in life. And I
Right.
really appreciate that somebody can really dig in deep and pull out the shit that they've been through in life and make it funny. That's what I love. And that's what I love about people like you. And that's what I love about, you know, Chris Cuff and other comics who are out there really digging deep and getting that, because that's what heals you as a person. So you're able to, you know, to move on from some of these things, because comedy is therapy. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing, is that it's the therapy part of comedy, because you can get up there, you can get out your frustration, you can laugh, and you can really let loose. And for like 5 to 7 minutes, the spotlight's on you, you got the microphone, everybody's listening. So I feel like everybody, you know, is kind of missing that part of the singularity of being a comic. So I'm
So
hoping
true.
for, yeah, I'm really hoping for that, for it to come back for people soon. I hope everybody comes back, because I know it's not gonna be the same, but I really hope to see all of our friends soon, so we can introduce you to more people. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, you've been in there. Do you have a favorite comedy club that you perform at, or no?
I mean, you know, I haven't really, you know, now that I'm just coming back, I mean, I used to, you know, I always loved the Brokerage. I always loved Governors. I mean, you know, I mean, I loved McGuire's. Um, I, you know, it was funny because when I was thinking about all of this, you know, I think one of my favorite places that I ever performed at, I did this little place. It wasn't even a comedy club. It was like a little restaurant. I don't know if you knew, Monty Hoffman was the coach in Prince of Bel-Air, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get a
I mean,
visual because I've watched every episode of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he passed away, but he's gone now. But he and I were very, very good friends, and he was very good to me. Like, I mean, because he was famous. He was on Last Comic Standing. He did very well. Like he advanced in Last Comic Standing, and so he had, you know, he had management, you know, and I was a new comic. I was nobody, you know what I mean? And he had just come back to New York, and he took me under his wing, and he was very good to me. Anyway, he needed an opening act, and he took me to Martha's Vineyard, and we did this wonderful, wonderful show up there. And it was just like a little restaurant. I don't know. I can't even remember the name of it, but we had such a
Right.
great time. You know, like little things like that, you know, that I'll always remember.
Who taught you how to structure jokes? Is that just something that you just knew how to do, or did you go to comedy college,
So
or?
I did go to comedy college. I went to Governors. You know, I actually took the class with John Truson when he was giving it years
Okay.
ago.
Yeah.
But I learned how I would feel more. I mean, he did a great job. Don't get me wrong. I got my first 5 minutes. But as time went on, like I did a lot of writing with Joe DeVito. I don't know if you know Joe DeVito. I did a lot of writing with Carrie
I've never met him, but I believe me, I've heard his name plenty of times.
Yeah,
Joe DeVito, yeah.
yeah. And then Chris Roach and I were started on at the same, pretty much the same time, and we used to do writing at like every weekend together.
Yeah.
So it was
So
me,
the more
Chris.
writing, the better you get at it.
Yeah. So we would do like writing circles like every Sunday at like local
Cool.
bars.
Yeah, that's what I started the creative. Are you a part of my creative connections open mic? I think you are. Yes, I think you are. That's why I had started the creative connections open mic, because I wanted people to actually come together to work together to write their stuff. This way they
Right.
could write their material and get new stuff. So I'm kind of hoping to get that going. But I mean, there's other people that have definitely taken the bull by the horns with that. But I'm trying to write more myself every day.
Me too.
So yeah, because I mean, I come up with stuff and it's like, all right, I have this, but then like I have my own stuff. Like somebody the other day, I mean, I wasn't social distancing, but I just had one of my really good friends move into the other apartment on the other side of the house. So we were just hanging out in her apartment, doing some karaoke, singing, cooking, and they were like, oh, Kristen, like do some comedy. And I'm like, okay. So I like literally drew from every set that I've ever had, and I shocked myself. I was like, wow, you remembered that verbatim. Like you didn't drop the ball. You didn't forget anything. It just snapped, just came right to you. And I was like, all right, now I know. Got that. That's all solid stuff. And I'm just gonna keep building sets, because that's all I can do. It's construction
That's
of
great.
comedy. You
That's
know?
great.
So I mean, if I think something's funny, I mean, obviously everyone's gonna talk about the coronavirus right now. Um, but I'm finding other things to talk about. I'm finding other things to talk about. I mean, like the fact that I'm waiting for my cat, to come home, and I'm gonna walk in the door one day and he's actually gonna start talking English to me. Like I really feel like I understand my cat on a level that no person should understand. Like seriously, like, I talk to him and I really feel like he understands me. And any day now, he's just gonna turn around and be like, "Hi." Like I'm just waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. It's gonna happen. And I
You
met
do
your
love
dog the other
you
day.
do love that cat.
Oh, I do. He's my best friend. I've had him since he's 3 weeks old. He's
I
like
know, it's so
I saved
cute.
his life. Yeah, I could never be without him.
So do you actually call him Yin and Yang, or do you just call him Ying?
His name, all right, that's my mistake. I thought it was Yin Yang, like with a G. It's actually Yin Yang.
Yin
But
Yang.
Yin Yang, I'm not gonna say that. Like, come on, like because he was born in Brooklyn. I found him in the middle of the street. He was in a box, and I see this box just getting pushed down the middle of 65th Street in Bensonhurst.
Aw.
And I looked at my ex-boyfriend, and I'm like, all right, either that's a possum. I said, or a child. I said, there's something. I said, babe, you got to go out of the road. I said, you got to find out what it was. I took the groceries up the stairs. I didn't want to see what it was. It was probably something disgusting. It's Brooklyn, whatever. So he calls me and he says, come downstairs. He's like, I got something to show you. And I'm like, all right, because my cat was like already like 22 years old. I had another older cat. She was already like 22 years old, 23 years old. She was on her last leg. And then he showed me this little tiny little black and white cat in his hand that I said, oh my God. Like, and they were like, well, we called animal control, and animal control is gonna come, and since you're holding yours, animal control is gonna come. And he's gonna, they're gonna take it. I'm like, yeah, right. Animal control is gonna come and they're gonna throw the fucking cat out the window. Like
That's exactly what they're gonna do, right?
That's exactly what they would have done. Like they don't care.
No.
So I took him in, and the rest was history. Like I bottle fed him. Like I taught him everything. He's my baby. He's been with me for so long, so I can't even.
He thinks you're his mommy. You freaking bottle fed him.
He knows that I'm his mother, because
exactly.
when he disappeared on me one night, and let me give you anybody a piece of advice that has a kitten. If your kitten ever runs away, the best way to find them is to go on YouTube and find a video of a mother cat calling its kittens, and the cat will come out. Because he disappeared, I couldn't find him. He was gone. And then I said, oh, he's dead. I'll probably find him when he's, rotting or something. And I played that video and he came out and he never left me again. He never left my side. He's always been my side. But when I took him to get fixed in Brooklyn, when they're looking outside and I'm like, and everybody else is gone, I'm like, where's my cat? I'm like, where's my cat? And they're like, oh, I'm like, a black and white kitten. I'm like, a boy. I'm like, can I have my child? And they were like, oh, we were expecting an Asian person to come. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, his name's Yin Yang. And I'm like, no, his name is Yin Yang. Give me my cat. They're like, well, why do you call him Oreo? And I'm like, why did I call you Oreo? Like, are you kidding me? Like, do I really want to be like getting hungry and like divulging on cookies every single time I call my cat? Like, come on, like be original. But I didn't realize the Asian people that told me, they're like, oh, it's actually Yin Yang. And I was like, no. So.
Give me my cat.
Give me my cat. I'm sitting out there. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, and they're ready to leave. I'm like, where are you going? Like, give me my cat.
Give me my goddamn cat.
I love that cat. He's the best. I love all animals. I love all animals. I don't care what it is. I mean, well, I care what it is. I mean, if somebody, I mean, let's face it, if there was a snake in the middle of the road, I would probably try to help it, but I don't think I would love it.
As it's inching, you're gonna see if it has any broken legs.
There's certain animals that I can't deal with, but when it comes to dogs, horses, cats, birds, I could deal with all that.
He's
So
so cute.
yeah. Well, I had a really good time talking to you, and I really look forward to you
Me
being
too.
on the Queens of Quarantine comedy show coming in the end of May.
Can't wait until we are not in quarantine anymore and I can hug your ass.
Oh yes, and thank you for the masks that you gave me the other day. I really love them.
Oh, you're
I really
welcome.
love them. That was very sweet of you
You're welcome. My
to think
pleasure.
of other people like that. I see Marianne Maizano is watching. She's
Hey,
the
man.
bed, your favorite. Yes. Let's try to get Marianne to do the show too.
Well,
Let's see
that
what
would
we
be
have to do to
nice.
bribe her to come and do the comedy show. Maybe she could play music because we definitely want to entertain the people for an hour. We don't want to have back-to-back comics because we don't play that game.
How good would that be?
Oh, I have a drag queen that lives right down the driveway from me. So there's definitely other
Nice.
ways, but I'm gonna be hitting up a lot of girls to see who's gonna be nominated for a quarantine queen. Hopefully there will be a prize for being the quarantine queen nominated. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna make it fun as Tinsley Comedy Productions always is. So.
Do we have to wear pants? No, you never have to wear
Why do you have
pants.
to wear pants?
First of all, I haven't worn pants this entire quarantine. Why would anybody? I don't even own underwear anymore.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like every day I walk around in like my bum ass clothes, and I'm just like walking around like it's normal, like whatever. Like what am I? Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. Like the most I sit in my car in the park. That's what I do. I go to the food store. I'll go take care of I'll go feed the horse, whatever it is. That's basically it.
Exactly.
So it is.
Pants are optional.
Pants are optional. Bras are a definite though.
My bras are definite. Otherwise, I'll hurt somebody.
Oh yeah.
Except for Teresa. Teresa's got great knockers.
Fuck Teresa and her perfect tits, bitch.
Teresa and her perfect tits.
Your perfect tits, bitch.
Teresa's got like 4-year-old tits. Nasty pants.
Teresa has the tits we all had before, like we started doing jumping jacks in gym class and everything. Yeah, that's why my tits are saggy because I did too many jumping jacks in gym class. That's the reason. Oh my god.
Funny.
All right, girl. So it has been amazing talking to you. I knew I was gonna. She's laughing at Teresa. Good. I'm glad you heard that. Perfect titted bitch. He says we gotta make a song about that. We're gonna do that. Perfect titted bitch.
We'll do a song parody.
We will. We need to really start doing stuff because everybody else is out there doing it. I saw an amazing video by Juliette Lewis today where they were just punching the shit out of each other, and I was like, "That's amazing!" They had all the stunt women from like, I think what the hell is the name of that movie? It was oh my god, Freddie Rodriguez was in it. Death Proof. All the badass chicks from Death Proof were in it. All the stunt women that you see in Hollywood were all the badass chicks that you see from Kill Bill. All those girls were all in it. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was probably one of the best videos I've ever seen. So I like that. So we got to do something. I was thinking about we could do it with food.
I think I'm going to do some funny stuff with food.
That's what I said. Yeah, we should do it like, this cupcake over. Oh, let's see if we can eat this, like, and smash it in your face or something like that. That would be funny. Or we could do something with cocks too. I mean, like, oh, wow, look at that cock. Here, let me throw it to you. Oh, I don't want to.
Yeah, like you're going to throw away a cock. I doubt it.
Never. At this size, I would take a bite. At this stage of the game, but at this age of my life, I would actually be very happy with a micro penis. I got 2 sets of tweezers inside. I will make it freaking work. a penis the size of an ant, as long as it's attached to a man, I don't care. Wait, no, I take that back, Lord. I take that back. I
Yes,
didn't say that because the universe is always listening.
The universe is
I like
always
her.
listening, honey. You
I
have
know.
to give it, ask for exactly what you want.
If I asked for exactly what I wanted, I would be impaled.
But be very specific with what you want.
Oh, I know. I write
You
it
want it to
down.
be
I say
attached
it.
to the perfect man.
Attached
you.
to the perfect man. Yeah.
For you.
For me. Not the perfect man for everybody else, because there are some men out there that every woman wants, and I don't want that guy.
That's right.
I want the guy that's perfect for me. I don't want
That's
the
right.
guy that's, you know. Whatever.
That's like, when you understand your intentions, and you have to ask specifically over what your intentions are, you have to put together your dream board and put him on there.
Well, I have The Rock on there, so I don't know.
Is that realistic?
No, I mean, I don't specifically want The Rock, but I definitely want a guy that's like that, a guy that takes care of himself, a guy that works out, a guy that's a family man. You know, there's I wrote my intentions of the man that I wanted on his path.
Then that's fair.
So I knew
that's
that.
fair. Yeah. All good.
Oh shit, Marianne said, honey, I'm like the Starship Enterprise. I will take you where no man has gone before. Oh my god!
Oh, that's what I love about it.
Game. I love it. All
Oh,
right,
so true, Teresa.
Girl.
Just need a great tongue.
Oh my god.
Is Teresa offering hers?
She is. Teresa with a perfect tits. That's so funny. Oh my god, they all need a detachable penis. I do have detachable penis. Actually, I have penises that stick to the wall. I have glass penises. I have purple
Oh my
ones. I have hollow strap-ons. I've got it all.
Mine's under my bed.
I've got. Oh yeah, that's not a good place to keep it. I guess that's the underneath there. Just to keep it in a cool,
actually,
warm,
it's in my drawer.
Temperature. Yeah, dildos. They don't do much for me. I just have them because I like them, but they don't do anything.
I don't have a dildo. I have one that's right for my clit. I like hardware.
Right, yeah, like fucking electrocute me off the bed, like the goddamn fucking exorcist.
Me too. I want a jackhammer, like Jess talks about.
Exactly. Like what the clitoris has 8,000 nerves. Oh, it does? Because I mean, I must have killed like 4,000 of them. Because they say like, you know, if you use vibrators, you become desensitized to anything else, and that can be true. So, but whatever. They grow back.
I don't give a shit. I take care of myself.
Exactly. The uterus needs that release, just like guys need it. The uterus needs that release to help with contractions. There's a very healthy part of that. So.
Oh, look, Teresa's asking you to show your arsenal.
This bitch.
Here she comes, Teresa. Not literally, figuratively.
Figuratively, let's see. All right, what does she want to say?
Your arsenal.
Hold on, I'm looking for one more.
Teresa said her uterus has no heartbeat. Holy moly.
I wasn't kidding.
She is not kidding.
This one is the perfect one because of the way that it's shaped. This is, I mean, it doesn't really have anything like special to it, but it's one of my favorites.
Does it vibrate?
No. I mean, you're in my bedroom. This is for small penis men. You can actually, like, if you need something a little bit bigger and you happen to find one of those guys that has a micro penis, or if there's a man that unfortunately doesn't have a penis, which can happen, this is just a strap-on that you can put your member inside of and go to town. This is
nice.
It's on the wall.
Wait, it's like extra gear. You can put extra gear on his cock.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This is a double-ended one. I don't know why I bought this. I think I just thought that I mean, there's one like this size and there's one this size. I don't know if like, whatever, but and then this is my favorite one. This one I actually don't use. I just bought it because I liked it. This is my glass one.
Ooh, the glass ones are nice.
Yep, you can heat them up, you can cool them off. They're very pretty.
Yeah.
I only let certain guys use this on me, but I liked it. It's very fun. It's very nice. It
Yeah.
doesn't hurt. It's very small. There's just something about it that's just absolutely amazing. So, but yeah, sex toys. I like them. Everybody has them. Everybody uses them. They're a lot of fun. I just so happen to like. Plus, I used to date a guy that liked to play with all of this stuff. So, but I'm actually probably gonna end up.
Oh, your brother's asking if he should be.
Oh my god! You didn't see any of that, Brian. You saw none of that. Oh my god! Yes, this is the Clown Museum. It is. It is. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Just to make you happy, I do have a black one, okay? Oh my god, Brian, I love you. Oh my god. What about your other brother walking in the room while you're showing your penises off? Yeah. So.
The funniest thing though is, how do you bring it up? Hey, listen, your cock is too small. I need to strap this thing on.
That is crazy. Oh, yes, you do. Oh my god. Well, there's no guy that you need to beat the crap out of it, Brian. I mean, that's good.
Oh my god. So I'm thinking,
I would never tell a man that his penis is too small. I would never say that. I mean, that's one of the things that you can't change. You know what I mean? Like, it's not his fault that his penis is small. Actually, the reason why I bought that was just in case, like, the guy couldn't last or he was impotent or something like that. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to meet in life, So it's just a matter of, I mean, these aren't toys that I would ever use with multiple guys, but I mean, it could happen. So.
TMI, your brother's like TMI.
He's kidding. He's a Tinsley. He doesn't care. As long as if he were to tell my other brothers and sisters, he'd be like, yeah, we know. We all know about the clear plastic tower that Kristen has in her bedroom. God forbid she were to pass away, that we just need to duct tape shut and throw the fuck out because there's nothing of value in there. Just throw it out.
Oh, that's just
these toys are.
He'll know when you say, is it in yet?
Yeah, he will. Is it in yet? Yeah, I mean, I'm a very simple woman. I mean, I'm not judgmental towards guys at all.
No,
I feel like everybody, sex is something more. So I like to connect more to the mind, as opposed to the physical part. If you can find someone you can connect to their mind, and then the physical part is even better.
I agree.
Yeah, I've never really felt, your dick is small. I may talk shit, but I don't really care. Because, it takes a lot for a man to actually be able to do that, because you don't know what you're going to get.
I agree.
You don't know if the woman's going to be like, oh, or you don't know how big she's got it. But, listen, truth be told, if a man is too big, it's not good. So.
No.
My brother's going to execute me.
I know. Then you gotta gargle with cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice. You're on your way to the hospital to get your asshole sewn back up. I mean, come on. It's happened. It's happened. It's happened. Okay. Some guys are that goddamn big. King Kong, motherfucker. Oh my god. No, Teresa. No, you can keep him. I don't want him. All right. Let me get out of here. I can't believe this night turned into this, but I'm glad that I did reveal this on my own show as opposed to other people's shows, because people have asked me to bring in my arsenal of toys that I've had for very special relationships that I had years ago. So
that was awesome.
Well, you're in my bedroom. They're in here. So
absolutely.
If you ever need any help with dildo selection or vibrator selections, let me know. That's a whole other different draw.
Okay, I promise I'll be calling you.
Okay. So,
Kristen,
what's the latest dildo model?
What's the latest dildo?
Oh, Well, here we have, and that I actually did apply for a job at Love Honey where you could demonstrate how to use dildos.
Nice.
Most men don't care if you think they are big or not. In their minds, as long as they came and slept with you, they can care less. That's true, Brian. That's true. See, brotherly advice. That's
Good
very,
point.
yeah, it is true.
Good to
That's
know,
true.
Bri. Good to know, Bri. So as long as you can stick it in, or you don't give a shit. Good to
Exactly. They don't care. They don't care what you think because they know they're not going to be there anyway, so it doesn't matter. I think we're over that thing.
know. Chicks on
Cox.
cocks.
Oh my God, she's crazy. I can't. We can go all night talking about this. I can't.
We could,
Crazy. Yeah.
definitely.
All right. So
All right.
let's end the show. This Thursday, coming up, and as a reminder, any female comics who would like to hit me up for a spot on the Queens of Quarantine comedy show, which is coming up at the end of May, please private message me and let me know. This Thursday, I will have comedian Jack Siegel on In Bed with Comics. Thank you so much, Cara, for joining me. I really had a good time tonight. It was a lot of fun.
My
I knew
pleasure.
this conversation was going to go towards sex. I just knew.
Of course.
As soon as we
We're in
started
bed,
talking
baby.
about Teresa Farrell's perfect titties, I'm gonna start writing a song tonight about Teresa Farrell's titties.
Absolutely.
We're gonna sing it to her.
We're going to sing it to her.
Marianne's gonna play guitar. We're gonna sing it about Teresa's to Teresa's titties. That's what we're gonna
Oh, to Teresa's titties.
Yep, bitch. I can't. Perfect titty bitch. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on Thursday for the next episode of In Bed with Comics. I'm your host, fellow comic Kristen Tinsley. Everybody have a good night. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah. Much love to you. Much love to you, Miss Amore.
Much love to you, Ms. Tinsley. Love you.
Love you too, girl. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.